Right, as I mentioned previously, on the foundation tier GCSE paper, they don't give you very much. They don't give you any information on metric to imperial conversions. They don't give you information on areas and circumferences of circles. In fact, the only formulas they give you are the two here: area of a trapezium and volume of a prism. And we'll talk more about those later with this chunk of work. But it's important that you can remember how to find the area of a rectangle. Okay, and if we've got length and we've got width, then the area of that rectangle will be length times width. And from that we can get the area of a triangle, because if you have a triangle that looks like that, you should be able to see that that's going to be half the area of a rectangle. So if you've got, and it's usually called height now that it's a triangle, and that would be known as the base, then the area of that triangle will be a half of the height times the base. So for area of a triangle, you need to know the length of the base and the perpendicular height. Now it doesn't have to be a triangle that looks like that. The same thing applies in a triangle that looks like that. If that's the base, so long as you know what that perpendicular height is, then the rule is the same: half base times perpendicular height. So you need to learn these formally in order to be able to answer the questions on the exam papers, and that's what we look at now. So straight in, you can see the first question there is a triangle question. The base doesn't have to be at the bottom, so we've got a 6 centimeter base and the perpendicular height is 8. So the area of this has got nothing to do with that 10 there. The area will be half times 8 times 6. Well, 6 eighths of 48, so we're interested in half of 48, which is 24, and the units for area will be centimeters squared. When we're asked to find a perimeter, the perimeter is the total distance all the way around the outside of a shape. So if you imagine that you were going to start at one corner and then you were going to walk around the entire outside of the shape back to the start, what's the total distance that you've travelled? Often it helps if you put a dot so you remember where the starting point is. So on this one, if I travel this way, first of all I'm going to go 9, put a little cross on it so I know that I've covered it, plus 13, done that one. Then I'm going to go 14 to there, and then I get to here and I don't know what that distance there is. Similarly, I don't know what that distance there is or that distance there, but I do know that from there to there plus there to there plus there to there is going to come to 12. Just by, if you imagine bringing that out and putting it there, then that's going to make that side of the shape. So I'm going to have plus 12 for those 3 vertical bits, and then if that's 6 there, I know that that's going to be 6 there as well. So plus 6 will get me to there, and then that plus 6 will get me back to the starting point. Okay, so you need to be a little bit aware where you aren't given a side, where a side isn't written onto the shape, where you can get that information from. Okay, so if we just add these up now then, so we got 9 plus 13 plus 14 plus 12 plus 6 plus 6. So that is 60. And the units for perimeter, perimeter is just distance, it's length, so it's just going to be centimeters. So that's the first set of questions. Area of triangle, perimeter, distance all the way around the outside. Okay, moving on. Okay, in this question, again, we've got a strange rectangular type shape. And there's two things we have to do here. First of all, we have to work out the area of the shape, and then for part B, the perimeter. It says in both parts of this question, clearly stating the units of your answer, which means if you don't, you're going to lose at least 1 mark on this question. Now, in order to find the area, I said at the start that we know that, or we need to know, that the area of a rectangle is length times width. So what we have to do here is divide this shape up into rectangles, and it's going to take 3 divisions here. If I call that bit there rectangle A, and then I'm going to cut across here as well and call that rectangle B, and call that there rectangle C. I work out the area of the 3 rectangles separately, and then by adding those together I'll get the area of the complete shape. So area of A, well, this rectangle, you need to get the right numbers out of here. That 2 isn't part of the full rectangle. This rectangle is going to be 7 centimeters by 5. So it's going to be 7 times 5, which is 35. Area of B, well, B is going to be 4 by 12, which is 48. And then finally, this rectangle, don't believe that this 11 is part of it. If you see that 11 goes from the base right the way to the top, this rectangle is in fact a 7 centimeter by 6 centimeter rectangle. So we do 7 by 6, which is 42, and then we add those up to get the total area. So 35 plus 48 plus 42 is 125. The units are centimeters, so the area will be in centimeters squared. Now for the perimeter of the shape, we need to go around the outside. So I'll do this in green so it doesn't muddle up with the red things that I've drawn there. So if I start there, I'm going to go 7. Then I'm going to go 2, 4, 12, 11, 6, 7, 3, 7, and back to the start, plus 5. So I'm going to add all of those up to get my perimeter. Okay, so 7 plus 2 plus 4 plus 12 plus 11 plus 6 plus 7 plus 3 plus 7 plus 5 equals. So that's 64. And as I said earlier, the units of perimeter, perimeter is distance that you've traveled around the shape, so it's just centimeters. So for area, centimeters squared; for perimeter, centimeters. So you see here, this type of question comes up quite frequently. Same again, perimeter first off, then area, and again specifically telling you in the question to give your units. Right, I'm going to split this one up into 3 rectangles, and I'm going to split it like this. So I'll call that rectangle A, rectangle B, and rectangle C. First thing we have to do is the perimeter, sorry. Okay, so let's do that. Let's start at A. So I'm going to go 8 plus 2 plus 5 plus 4. Now that distance there, I need, in order to work out what that is, I need to know what this distance here is. Okay, now I know that it's 8 centimeters from there, from A to B. and I know that it's 5 centimeters from C back to D, which means that this distance must be 3 centimeters to make that distance the same as that for the rectangle. So if that's 3 centimeters, I know that that's 3 centimeters. From there right across to there is 10. So 10 to take away 3 means that this distance here must be 7 centimeters. So I've got to there. Now I know that that distance is 7 plus 6 plus 10. And then to get back to the start, I've got to go 6 to there, 4 to there, and 2 to there. So that distance there is 6 plus 4 plus 2, which is 12 centimeters. 6, 4, 2, 12. Add 12. So adding those all together, I'm using a calculator. This could be on a non-calculator paper, bear that in mind. 8 plus 2 plus 5 plus 4 plus 7 plus 6 plus 10 plus 12, 55, and its perimeter, so the units are centimeters. Now for part B, I need to work out the area of rectangle A. Get in there. So area of A. Area of A is going to be 8 times 2, and it's worth writing these bits in because it's showing the examiner what numbers you're using to get this rectangle's area from. So for rectangle B now, we can see that it's 4, and we found out from our perimeter work that that's 3 there. So area of B will be 4 times 3, which is 12, and area of C will be 10 by 6. Add those up and I get 88, and the units centimeters squared for area. Okay. Now at first sight this question looks as if it's going to be a counting squares estimating question, but you'll see up in the instruction at the top that they want you to find the exact area of this shape. So counting squares isn't necessarily the best way of going about this. If we divide this up, we'll see that we've got 2 triangles, ABC and ACD. So if we work out the area of triangle ABC, that's going to be half, and this time the base, I would call that one the base really. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going that way, and then the height will be here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 6 3s are 18, half of 18 is 9, and then the area of triangle ACD will be a half, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going that way, and we've got 6 going that way as well. So it'll be half of 6 times 6. 6 6s are 36, half of 36 is 18. So the exact area of that shape we would get by adding 18 and 9 together, which is 27, and the units again centimeters squared.